Yo, ho, ho, Bills Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of Da Mafia Live. Very excited to come back with a new little look for you while we tackle some news here. Now, the elephant in the room, that's going to be the main topic of today, and which is Aaron Rodgers. He is now officially a part of the New York Jets, also meaning that he is now in the AFC East. What does that mean for the Buffalo Bills? Should we be worried? We're going to get right into that. Afterwards, we're going to discuss why I believe that a second-round pick is nowhere near as valuable as D-Hop. We're going to dive right into that, baby. And then afterwards, we're just going to open up the floor to any general Q&A from the chat. Noticing a lot of people coming in here already. Welcome. Happy NFL Draft Week. I know that I am absolutely pumped. This is like the 1 week of the off season where I almost feel the magic from the NFL. It's crazy stuff. Very excited. Have a lot of things planned right with the rest of the week. That's from my channel and the AFC East Roundtable. With the AFC East Roundtable, we are not only going live tomorrow night, but we are having a pre-show on Thursday. We are having a pre-show on Friday, and we are having a pre-show on Saturday, right before. It's going to be jam-packed. I have a bunch of other Bills creators coming on. I did release that video today with Z-Bot from Buffalo Fanatics, where I had him do a mock draft. We critiqued, chatted. Great video. As soon as we're done with this live stream, if you haven't had an opportunity to see that as of now, definitely go check it out. Wonderful content. As always, if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and subscribe to this family. I am an avid member of the Bills Mafia. I love football, and I regularly put out videos on this on a regular basis. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. And as always, beat the living hell out of that like button, baby. Beat it. Helps the channel out great. Helps my content get pushed to more members of the Bills Mafia. Hit that like button. Would mean the absolute world to me. So let's go on and just address the elephant in the room here, ladies and gentlemen. Rodgers. He has been officially traded to the New York Jets. Now, we saw it coming, right? It's been months. It almost seemed like not a matter of if, but a matter of when. And the thing is, from my perspective, it didn't diminish the shock at all. I think there was a part of me that was hoping that the Niners would swoop in, or the Tennessee Titans would swoop on in and end up taking Rodgers away. But at the end of the day, that was unrealistic. He is now on the New York Jets. Say that you haven't seen any of this, as you know. So the Jets obviously ended up getting Aaron Rodgers. They swapped picks with the Green Bay Packers, so they still were able to preserve their first-round pick, because we all know that Joe Douglas was being absolutely stingy with that first round. Sounds like that he was good enough where he could go on ahead and negotiate that. So they have Aaron Rodgers. Now they have the number 15 pick. And then now they have pick 170, which is what, like a 4th, 5th round, 6th, maybe? Who even knows? Bear with me. The Packers Now, some people say that they won this trade by a country mile, by an absolute country mile, right? They swap picks with the Jets, so now the Packers are sitting at 13. This is an entire new conversation, right? Since Jordan Love is going to be their quarterback, are the Packers going to shock the world and try and make a move for like Anthony Richardson or maybe get another quarterback? Who knows? I mean, it would be a Packers move. I'm not going to lie to you. Because, I mean, we all know that they're not going to be grabbing any sort of playmaker. Let's be real with that. Then they ended up securing the Jets' second-round picks. So now they have 2 second-round picks, and then number 207 from there. And then they also have a 2024 conditional second-round pick. So they have that opportunity where they could really leverage this trade if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the games in 2023. So, in my opinion, I mean, this dude has played through injury after injury after injury, very rarely sits out. Looks like that's almost a given at this point. So, very, very curious to see what they're going to do with that. Now, one thing I wanted to address, because a lot of people, they try and say, hey, Dan, Rodgers is washed. He's not someone that you need to worry about right now. Guys, I think that is one of the most nonsense things that anybody could even put into the picture. And don't get me wrong. Listen, I want to preface this by saying that I still feel like the Bills are going to win this division this year. I'm literally sitting right here, right in front of you, trying to sort of orate the fact that we basically have the same team from last year, really outside of Edmonds. All of our star players are back, right? We have a draft coming up. We have Josh Allen, who is going to be healthy. He has 0 distractions now because apparently him and his significant other are over with. So I'm not worried about that, but I do want to put down any slander where somebody has the audacity to tell you that Aaron Rodgers is washed or no longer has it. This man does. He absolutely does. I know last year he had 12 interceptions, but look at the receiving core that man had. I've seen better receiving cores on junior varsity teams in high school. This man is going over into an organization that has Garrett Wilson, that has Breece Hall, Michael Carter coming back. Really solid offensive line if they can stay healthy, of course, right? And then, of course, Lazard, who has a lot of familiarity with Rodgers. He's going to thrive over there. He really, really is. It's very difficult to try and say, hey, man, this is an issue. The Bills are still going to steamroll them. It's a good team, man. It's a very good team. And what a lot of people don't understand is that Rodgers, literally, he's won the MVP 2 out of the last 3 years. I think this guy still has another solid 2-3 years in him. And I think that the Jets games, especially against the Buffalo Bills, are going to be that much more interesting. So very, very excited about that. I mean, it's tough because I want to sleep on the Jets. But with that, I mean, it's tough. Speaking of sleep, okay, we need to give a giant shout out to today's sponsor. And that just so happens to be the Monta Sleep Mask, right? Now, say, for example, that I don't want to see any hallucinations of the Jets being at the top of the AFC East, then I'm going to be wearing this, baby. I'm going to be wearing this right here. This is the Monta Sleep Mask. This company literally has created one of the best sleep masks on the face of the planet. They believe that sleep is the number one priority in order for you to be able to maintain your productivity. Now, normally I'm not a big sleep mask guy because they screw up my ears and stuff and light still comes out of it. But literally, I put this on right here. I can't see shit. Okay. I mean, I might as well go on ahead and just apply to be an NFL referee. I feel like that's a prerequisite for it right over there. It's super great. It's a great product. I highly recommend that you do check it out. The link is in my description. And there's also a code in there as well, Dom Mafia. It will get you an extra 10% off. But I mean, I'm not BSing you guys. This stuff right here, my REM sleep has been absolutely insane. Very good, super comfortable. Monta Sleep Mask, everybody. Go check it out. Definitely supports the channel. Aaron Rodgers, right? He's on the AFC East. He's on the Jets. He's now going to be a problem for the Buffalo Bills. He's now going to be doing all of this, right? So this brings me to something that has also been dominating Bills news for quite some time, and something that I feel like that we need to talk this out. Like, all of us need to talk this out right now. We need DeAndre Hopkins. We need him. We need him. Okay? Now, the Cardinals just ended up putting out that they're willing to accept a second-round pick, right? In my opinion, I think this is an absolute no-brainer. It really is. Because like I said a few minutes ago, yes, the Buffalo Bills were the same team as we were last year, but I think the Miami Dolphins and the Jets have made leaps and bounds this year. They are literally nipping at our heels. And we need to be able to make a move. And the thing is that so many people try and say, no, we need to preserve our picks. We need to do this. Let me tell you something about teams that need to preserve their picks. Teams that need to preserve their picks are teams that are not considered a Super Bowl contender, right? This is how I want you to look at it. Next year, regardless if we don't bring in a big contract like D-Hop, we're not in a good position for salary cap. Literally each and every single one of our defensive tackles are going to be up for a new contract next year. That's not going to damn happen. This is the last part of the Buffalo Bills window, in my humble opinion. There's always a chance with Josh Allen as your quarterback. Diggs is still there. We can draft very well. But when I'm talking about that the Bills are firing on absolute all cylinders, it's this year. And this is the last year where I think that we're going to be dominant all across the board. I'm not saying that it's going to be over in 2025 or in 2024, etc. But I'm saying that there's going to be holes in our roster because we need to be able to catch up from the money that we have spent in the past. That's why trading for D-Hop makes the most sense that I have absolutely ever seen. It's very difficult for me to take anybody seriously saying that, no, Dan, D-Hop is not worth a second-round pick. Absolutely. There is not a single person in the second round or a single receiver in the draft right now that is going to be able to play at the exact same caliber as D-Hop today. I mean, sure, like after a couple of years of development of these rookies being able to, say, for example, get up to speed with how fast the NFL goes, for sure. But you have to look at what the Dolphins did. They picked up Ramsey. They have Fangio, like on that side. Great secondary, damn good secondary. I mean, I would say the top three secondaries in the NFL are legitimately in the AFC East, right? So we need to come up with a little bit more firepower. We saw what happened with Diggs, man. I mean, as soon as when Gabe Davis couldn't go out there and he couldn't establish himself as that solidified wide receiver too, I mean, really other defensive coordinators sniffed that out almost immediately. And then lo and behold, Stephon Diggs started being taken out of the game. And then Josh Allen had to resort into being reckless and making some more of those rookie mistakes. Imagine an offense with Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins lined up on the outside, with Gabe Davis sometimes plugged in there every now and again with a couple of snaps, him being a bona fide wide receiver 3, which I think that he absolutely excels in. Look at every other year outside of last year. Gabe Davis flourishes as a wide receiver 3, not a wide receiver 2. D-Hop, Diggs, Gabe Davis, Shakir out of the slot. Damian Harris would be able to go on ahead and establish that power run game that we have been looking for a very long time. This makes sense to me. It really, really makes sense to me, and I don't understand why anybody could basically say, no, man, that's not working for me. That's not working for me, man. We don't want D-Hop on this team. Of course we do. Of course we want D-Hop on this team. It's just, it's wild. I think if anything happens, I think that we probably won't know until day 2 on Friday night. It's going to be one of those trades that occur while we're watching the draft coverage, more than likely while I'm streaming my live game reaction, my live draft reaction, and you will see me like shit myself on live YouTube, whatever. But if another team doesn't bite, and we've already seen the video where it seems like that D-Hop wants to be on the Buffalo Bills or the Chiefs, right? Like with that facial expression video he had, whatever. I think it's going to happen, man. I mean, I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but we need to be able to make a splash move on this. And I think it's almost a matter of time before it does happen. So super excited about that. The rest of the show, guys, I am opening this up to Q&A. So fire off your shots, fire off your questions in the live chat. Let's talk a little bit. We can talk about Aaron Rodgers. We can talk about D-Hop. We can talk about anything in the NFL draft. Love to hear it. I love hanging out with you guys. Let's figure this out. Boom. Let's see. Last time we saw Diggs just taking a deep pass to the house on Ramsey, week 1. Absolutely. It's funny that you say that for a variety of reasons, because I feel like everybody and their mother was excited about Ramsey going to the Dolphins. They're like, oh man, dude, like he's going to dominate the Bills. They obviously haven't watched any tape of Jalen Ramsey and his career against the Buffalo Bills. I'm pretty sure he hasn't won a game against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, right? Diggs absolutely has this man cooked on another level. I'm not really scared of X anymore either. And so Holland over at Miami is pretty solid. I'm definitely anticipating him to have an absolute hell of a season this year. But really, I think they're outside corners. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be just fine against them, especially if we have D-Hop and Diggs. It'd be stupid. It would be stupid. Kevin Evans, Bengals fan here. What's going on, man? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Great team, man. Super upset what you did to us last year. But from what I understand, I guess Josh Allen's girlfriend like threw a fit the other night before and he didn't give you his A game. But I mean, no excuses. Y'all won that game. Y'all won that game. I do think you got shafted during the AFC Championship, though. I do think you got shafted during the AFC Championship. The damn Chiefs, man. Do the Bills trade anyone from this roster? Ed Oliver, for example. Thank you for the question, Jordan Smith. I really appreciate that. Yes. Say, for example, that we go for a D-Hop trade. One of the first things that our organization is going to do is not only send over a second or maybe a third, but they're going to send over Ed Oliver as well. Right now, his cap hit's at about $10 million this year. He would 1,000% be a part of a package. He would 1,000% be a part of that trade package for DeAndre Hopkins if it does happen. Or say, for example, that Brandon Beane pulls like something else like out of his ass and he trades for Hunter Renfrow or something like that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it is on character for Brandon Beane. If we make any trades for current NFL players, I think Ed Oliver will be a part of that package. I think that with the fact that he was upset that he didn't get paid this year and just being able to sort of restructure some money so we can pay like another large playmaker, 110%. If we do it, it's going to be Ed Oliver. But I don't see us trading Ed Oliver for picks alone. I really don't. So Kevin Evans says, hoping D-Hop doesn't join Buffalo. Man, just give us something, man. And so just give us something, you know? Like, I mean, and so the Bengals 2 wide receiver ones, you know what I mean? Like, let's make it interesting here. Okay, Nick C is coming in and saying Dolphins moves for Tyreek, Ramsey, and Chubb are very much win now. Same with the Jets, with Rodgers, but with younger and cheaper talent. Yeah. What I will say is I think that the Jets are in a way better position than the Dolphins are as far as their overall like spending and organization is. Like Nick just eloquently put out, the Jets are surrounded by young talent. Very, very young talent. And now you have one of the best throwers of the football of all time. I would say one of the best quarterbacks of all time. I would probably put Rodgers in the top 5 right now. Really would. Outside of the fact that he really didn't and so he only has one Super Bowl under his belt. I think as far as talent, stats, like individual accolades, his accuracy alone, this guy's an absolute stud. I think the Jets did this right. I think he's surrounded by a bunch of young talent that's not going to be geared up to be paid for at least another 5 to 6 years. Like on a So on the collective basis, but absolutely wild. Pez Buff comes in and says Hopkins and Robinson would make the Bills unstoppable. 110%. 110%. But I think it's going to be one or the other, man. First off, with Bijan Robinson, if he falls to 27, I will be shocked. I will absolutely be shocked. And I mean, as much as I try not to take like any overt statement from Brandon Beane as absolute truth and facts, because you never want your competition to know what you're doing in the draft by itself. I don't think it's in his DNA to trade up. I mean, he hasn't done it since Josh Allen, right? Well, with Kyrie Elam, never mind. But I just don't see him doing it this year because with Robinson, he's going to be gone, in my opinion, 15, if that. Say that he is picked after pick 15, I would be shocked. But so I think it's going to be Hopkins more so than Robinson. Hopefully one out of the two. Best case scenario, 1 out of the 2. Worst case scenario, 0 out of 2. I feel like I'm just gearing myself up for disappointment right here. Wayne Smith's coming in and saying, come on, the Jets and Dolphins are doing all this to try and stop Allen. They better hope it works. Dude, I mean, honestly, and so you have to, right? And so you definitely need to. I think that they're both in some pretty solid positions right now, but they need a couple of pieces. I think right now, like I would choose the Jets over the Dolphins any day of the week because of the quarterback position, like 110%. Like I know a lot of people love Tua like blindly, like they refuse to critique him, but he's a question mark, man. First off, and so is he going to be able to stay healthy? He hasn't proven that. And the Dolphins, once again, have completely ignored their offensive line. And so if they think that they're going to walk into the draft and just pick like some second and third round guards and tackles and it's going to solve all of their issues and it's going to protect the quarterback, they're absolutely out of their mind. I literally put the Jets over the Dolphins by a country mile. And to be completely honest with you, I really do. I really do. We have Jordan Smith here. It's Ed Oliver and a third for Arizona for D-Hop. / Isaiah Simmons. Oh, man. You want Isaiah Simmons too? Oh, man. That would be dope. That would definitely be dope, man. But, I feel like we're, like, scratching pennies together, like, just to be able to get Hopkins in. But I could definitely see Ed Oliver and a third for D-Hop. That's something that I could realistically see them taking advantage of, in my humble opinion right there. $50 million a year for a 40-year-old quarterback, man. Hey, listen, last year, although he had a couple of interceptions, 12 to be exact, I thought he still balled. He threw for 3,600 yards, and he had, I think, probably one of the worst supporting casts in like recent memory, like for him at least. Really curious to see what he's gonna do with Breece Hall, with Garrett Wilson, with Lazard. It's gonna be cool, man. It's definitely gonna be interesting, but I'm still hoping that the Buffalo Bills can absolutely go out there and just kick his ass. All right. Bills Mafia, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of Dom Mafia Live. Like I told you before, okay, I have a bunch of content on this channel and also on the AFC East Roundtable channel. It's going to be anything. Tomorrow I have another mock draft with another Bills content creator. Feel free to guess on who that is. And then one on Wednesday and then one on Thursday right before the draft. I am also going to be on the AFC East Roundtable tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on Tuesday for our draft preview. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the AFC East Roundtable is doing a preview show before each and every single day of the draft. Be there. We're hyping it up. And then I will also be live streaming my reaction to the draft every single day. I will be there with you on Thursday night from start to finish, 1 to 32. I will be there with you Friday night from start to finish. I will be there with you Saturday at noon until finish right over there. It's exciting. This is really good. Let's get excited. It's always a good thing. Do me a favor, smash that like button on your way out. Makes me a very, very happy man. And make sure you check out that Monta sleep mask, baby, because you know why? So we're going to have to go on ahead, and we're going to be sleeping on the rest of the division, because let's be honest with ourselves. Buffalo Bills are taking it home once again. Thank you all again for tuning in to yet another edition of Dom Mafia Live. And before I let you go, you better always remember, let's go Buffalo.